Shalum Shalum Mashpaka. Oops. Caps lock. Shaul I put. Whoops. Alright, I'm Watchman Yirmiyahu with Qadashayam of Yasharal. And wanted to take a little bit of time and try to show some things about the Alaph Bat. Okay, I like to focus on these picto letters, which are the most ancient letters. I know that scholars and academics will try to convince us that the Paleo is older. Sometimes there's a lot of people who say that. I don't believe that to be true. Paleo was created by Lauren Cardane, PhD, Colorado State University. Very interesting. That's a diet. Give me a break. Okay, Paleo Hebrew was created. Let's see what they say. Trust, not everything they say is true, so we have to discern. Paleo Hebrew writing system found in Canaan. Remember too, Canaan is after the son of Ham came and squatted in Sham's land. That's why Abraham's promise is to restore what was already given. I don't want to come here. I don't really trust that. Let's see. Let's see what they say when it was invented. 10th century BCE. Man. Adopted by the Greeks around 12th century BCE. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into here. Most people confuse Paleo with classic Hebrew. Salakia family. I didn't mean to try to go jumping down no rabbit hole here. But this was a gateway to the modern, in which they introduced the vowel points and they changed pronunciations of words, and they use that to create new definitions. So what I strive to do when I break down these texts is to go back to the most original form that we can in the pronunciation. A, ba, ga, da, ha, uwa, zan, cha, tat, ya, kaf, lam, or la, ma, na, samak. Ayin has the same actual sound, I believe, as Aleph has a ah, and this is a ah. So it's really not so much of a difference, but there's a very important distinction. Sorry, I'm learning how to use this. There's a very important distinction for the Aleph when it occurs, or for the Hey when it occurs, Salakia, at the end of a word, and it actually will make the same sound. So there's some similarities and patterns in the sound. Okay. Also, please note that the ta Tau, which is this, you'll see it as this little house that's all connected, differing from the Chat, which has like a little tail, and the Hey, which has kind of a broken thing. These three letters confused me a lot at first because they look so much the same. So I reference back to this for understanding. This is an important reference thing. If anyone emails me and asks me for a copy of this, I will send it. Just say that you'd like a copy of the letters, and I will know exactly what you mean and send it. So let's go ahead and just go through some random pictures on a breath. And part of this too is an etymology study of other words. So, there's a thing going on right now with Iran, which is called epic fury, right? Epic fury. And this is important, I think, because an epic is known as pertaining to or constituting a lengthy, heroic poem. See, some of you may not know a hero is actually like a Superman, we can say, man of superhuman strength. But right here is the key thing. If you see it right here, it says demi-god or semi-god, which would be like half man, half God, okay? Which is a Nephalim, right? And so we know a lot of these different heroes, Nephalim, well, they're demons, they're demonic entities. And you also have this crossing of animals and man, okay? So, but if you look at, I guess what they like to call it as Nephilim, this is the idea from Genesis 6. Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of Adam, and they bare children unto them, the same became mighty males of old, males of renown. Okay, so, and these entities were forced to combat with each other and to basically kill one another, but their spirits lived on. Okay, and that's what's legion from the Bible. What the Messiah cast them into swine. Okay, so they're wandering spirits, disembodied spirits, and we would know those as wicked Ruach and or demons. Okay, so here you have a lengthy poem about demons, Nephilim, disembodied spirits. Okay, and then you go to the next one. These might be backwards. Yep. Okay, so here's the fury in mythology, which mythology is not a myth, right? Because all the mythological gods and goddesses that were worshipped by all these primitive cultures, and the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians and on and on and on, are their actual real abominations of creation, right? They're not a part of the natural order. They're a part of disorder and chaos because our Heavenly Father, Yahuah, did not want them to do this thing, and they're cursed for it. In fact, they're going to go to the lake of fire for it, and they cannot be unforgiven. So, okay. So the fury is an avenging spirit, fierce passion of anger and hatred. So, look, these names that they come up with, these military operations and stuff like that, they're not just some random or accidental or because it sounds cool. An epic fury is talking about the wrath, right? You have the anger and the hatred. You also have a frenzy, madness, chaos, okay, of the heroes, the fallen, the four mighty ones, Baruk Yahuah. Alright, so I'm going to try to just look at some of these slides, which are the transliterations of the original letters. So like I said, what we get right here, what we get right here, I don't know if there's a draw tool on here. That'd be cool if there was a draw tool. Well, I'm pointing. Shin, Bat, Lamed, Tau, Shab, Alath. Shabalath, okay, which is very similar to like what you have Shabbath, Shabuah. This is like a 7, but they're saying that this is a flowing stream or an ear of grain. Pretty interesting. So just want to show you how this transliteration will work. The capitalized letters represent the actual breathe letters, and when you see the little sounds in between, that's for our language, for our pronunciation, how we're writing it. Okay, in breathe they wouldn't need to write this because they wouldn't even have these letters, but they would pronounce this word, in my opinion, is just like this, Shabalath. Okay, because they would understand how to stream these letters together in the pronunciation. Since we speak English, we have to transliterate the abrith so that we know how to read it. And that's what I try to do. Okay, and that's what I'm going to try to explain here. I'm just going to let them come up randomly and just talk about them as they come. Now see, you'll see right here that this one starts with a samach. Okay, let me show you. So the first one had a shin, which is this little weird shaped W type thing, which makes a sh sound. Okay, now this one, it has this symbol right here, which is kind of like an O with a tail, or almost like an upside down Q. So you see it right here, it's like the O with the tail. So it's a S sound, right? Just a S, not a sh, but a S. Okay, which is really actually pretty cool, Baruk Yahuah, that came up, because I'm going to show you something. Because people will say to me sometimes, like, why does it matter? And you know what? If it doesn't matter to you, then don't watch, don't listen, don't try to learn it. This is for those who care. It does matter, and I can even show you in Scripture how it matters. In fact, why don't I just show you right now? So, in the book of Judges, chapter 12, okay, we go down here to verse 6. Then said they unto him, say now Shibboleth. And he said, Sibboleth, for he could not frame to pronounce it correctly. So then they took him and slew him at the passages of the Jordan, and they fell at that time of the Ephraimites 40 and 2,000. So they were using it as a way to identify if you were really one of them or not. Are you an imposter? That came out funny, sorry. Are you an imposter, or are you the genuine article? So just like they would hold up their hand like this to greet people, so you could see they had 5 fingers. Because if you had 6 fingers, they knew that you were in a fall, which is what I was just talking about. Half man, half fallen angel. That's what it is. Half man, half fallen angel. Okay, so now let me show you. In Judges 12:6, and they said unto him to say, if you look right here, it's a shin. The first letter is the shin. Bat lamed tau. But he could not, and he rather said, samach bat lamar tau sabalath. Okay, it's pretty important. And then it led to what? They slew him because he couldn't pronounce it properly. Okay? I don't know. People are like, oh, that doesn't matter and this and that. I just wanted to show you the things that Yahuwah shows me. It's in the scripture there, and so this is a screenshot. I should have came here. It's a little more blown up version of what we just went over. So he couldn't say Shabalath. He said Sabalath, and so they slew him. Okay. This is what we know as the law, the instructions, the the first, well, I wouldn't even say the first 5 books of the Bible, because some confusion with regards to academia, scholars, what have you. But people say this as Torah. Okay, Torah. Well, the first letter right here is clearly that TH down here. Taub. If you look at this closely, and I know it's small and I apologize. Let me see what I can do. Okay, that's the first letter right there. Yeah. And so it is right here. And then this one is the UA, which is a U, so that's why it's capital TH, then capital U, and then you have the Rash, capital R, and then the AH. Whenever the hey, it's just an H sound, is at the end of a word, it has ah, like Yahoo ah. Okay? So the real way that we would pronounce this in the ancient tongue, or the pure lip, right, of Zephaniah 3:9. For at that time I will change the speech of the peoples to a pure speech, that all of them may call upon the name of, and this should be Yahuwah, and serve him in one accord. So some people might not believe me that it is Yahuwah. So let me do. And if you ever have any questions or anything, you just put it in the chat or put it in the description or email me, whatever you like. I'll try to answer everyone as honestly and thoroughly as I can. Zephaniah 3:9, a promise for in the last days. For then will I turn to the people. You see how this is okay? So if you know that Qadash means righteous or placed apart, when you put a yod at the end, it means my righteous or my placed apart. Qadashayam is my placed apart people. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and that's why that's there. I will just honestly admit to you that when I first named it and came up with the name, I did not understand that yet. And I was always like, oh, did I make a mistake when I did the letters? Because I was still learning. And in a way, it's like it was a mistake. But then Yahuwah showed me that it really meant something pure. And so that it was really actually okay. So Baruk Yahuah. And it was like a confirmation. Okay. Qadashayam. Now let me show you. See, this is where it says upon the name of the Lord. This is the name for Baal right here, and we'll talk about that more, I know, eventually. 3608. So you can look at the letters Yod, He, Ua, He. Yod, He, Ua, He. And I probably will have that in these slides at some point. But that's how that would look like in English, Yahuwah. Okay? All right. So this is Thura, not Torah. Does it matter? I think so. I made a video. I think it's called a call to the elders. And I think that's what it was called. And I have not gotten any replies, y'all. It does make me sad. But yeah, this is a call to the elders is the name of the video right here. And so if you know someone who you would consider, sorry about that, if you know someone that you would consider to be an alder of Yashar'Al, please share this video with them, and that they may get with me and answer, because I would love to have a discussion with them about it, because it's not just Torah, it's also shofar. There's a bunch of different words where it's like we're speaking Yiddish, we're pronouncing things because of lying scribes, and we already know that they filled the Bibles with the names of devils and curses. If you don't know that, then please check out my series, my playlist on unclean lips and the pure lip, or email me, and I'll let you know what I'm referring to. Okay. I found this to be interesting because this word appears 95 times in the Bible, and I'm trying to remember H426. I'm trying to remember where it appears, but if you just say it now, I know it's not spelled like the Islamic God Allah or Allah when they say Allahu Akbar, okay, but it would be pronounced the same. It's Aleph Lamed Hey, and so it's Allah, and it's used to refer to as the Most High, as our Father in heaven, right here. So let me see if I can find it. H426. I don't know if this will let me do that. Hang on one second. H426 Bible verse. So it happens in Azra and Daniel a lot, but it also even happens in Jeremiah. Wow. Why did that do that? Sorry, I don't know why it's not loading. Jeremiah 10. This is my first time using this layout, so please let me know how it's working for you guys, about the sound. Hey, Shalom Shalum Akuthi. Let me know about the sound and just the overall layout. Okay, so right here in the book of Jeremiah, let's go look at what the verse says. Thus shall you say unto them, this is Elohim, this is four mighty ones that have not made the heavens and the earth. So they try to claim that they're, they want to have the esteem of Yahuwah, but they're not. They're just creatures too. Even they shall perish from the earth and from under the heavens. So in this context, it's used for little g, but we can actually go to some of the other scriptures that it's used in and see that it's really used for Yahuwah, like in Azra, even right here, house of Yahuwah, right, which is in Jerusalem. So that one, but the eye of there, okay, that might not be a great example, but you can see how it's capitalized, even though I know that's in the English. My point is that it's a Qadash word that appears in the scripture a lot of times. A lot of times. How much did I say? 93 times? 95 times. Okay? And it's referred to 79 times to refer to the Most High. So what's going on here? Because you're probably getting confused by that. So this would be my understanding, is that a lost and displaced people, even Ishmaelites, which are sons of Abraham, they're not the children of the promise to inherit everlasting life, but they have a promise to be 12 princes on the earth, to be favored, because Abraham asked Yahuwah to favor Ishmael. And so just like if you listen to a lot of Native American First Nation peoples and they sing and they say Yahweh, Yahweh, and they're saying Yahweh. Well, because it became lost, and it's actually a hijacked name, and the pure name is Yahuwah. So I think it is with the Islamic people who say Allah. So, and when they say Allah, they write it like, right, with two L's, like this. And but if you look at a lot of the language that they have, it very closely resembles the pure language, just like it is for a lot of First Nations people, and there's even Oriental peoples who have tongues that come from a breath, but they're lost because of what happened at the Tower of Babel. Everything became lost and confused, right? Okay. So that's a very interesting thing that Abba just showed me pretty recently. Yes, Allah does appear in your Bible, even you, Christian. Okay? And guess what? Their name over there in whatever, the Middle East, however you want to say it, is actually closer than the names that you are taught in your churches. Yeah, the names that you're taught in your churches are not Qadash. So this is, a lot of people will say, like here, NASA in Hebrew means to deceive, okay? And this is a deceiving agency, without a doubt. But let's look at this actual Strong's word, H5377, which is to beguile and to deceive, just like the serpent beguiled Eve in the garden. So this is a nun, a shin, and an aleph. So this letter, shin, remember I showed you, it's actually it right there, that's funny. It makes a SH sound, okay? So it's shh. So this would actually be pronounced as Nasha, not NASA. But you know how crafty the devil is, man. Of course that they're using this. They're playing on this. Okay? And it's the same old crafty tricks that they've been doing, changing all these vowel points. If you look at this, any of these words, you see these little things? These little things? Okay? Or that little dot right there? That don't come from Yahuwah. Yahuwah's words, his letters, are pure. See, they've defiled it because they placed their tool to it, right? And they defiled it. So it's actually, these are the original letters, right? So it would be this little seed, which looks like a little sperm, and then you have the shin, which is like this big blocky W, which is supposed to be like these teeth. I don't know how reliable this is, guys. I don't try to quote this, but and then the hey, whoops, I did the wrong thing. Where's the hey? Okay, this guy with his hands up, being like, hey. Okay, there is no vowel points. Hebrew vowel points. They added this stuff. Okay. They're saying that it was around 1000 AD. Sure. Either way, it's not the original. It's not the pure. And that's really all that I was trying to get at. Okay. So let's go back to, yep, so Nasha. And that is a deception. Okay, here's another etymology study. Remember, I wanted to talk about, I made a video about this too. So I'm pretty sure that you can go to Go to the YouTube channel if you want to watch it. I'm going to try to find it really quick because I don't know exactly the name. So, oh, right there. It's called Artificial Intelligence Nafal Gnosis. Nafal Gnosis, which is really just what? Hidden knowledge, secret knowledge, occult knowledge. You guys, please go watch that video. You'll see artificial intelligence goes all the way back to the garden. So let me show you. Artificial means etymologically not natural. Not natural. When the sons of Elohim came to the earth and saw the daughters of man, those that were fair, and they took for themselves wives, all whom they chose. They did an abomination. They produced a serpent seed. Excuse me. Four mighty ones, giants, males of renown, all this stuff. Okay. Not natural. So just keep that in your mind for a second, and then we'll go to the intelligence. Okay, so this intelligence is power of discerning, art and skill, understanding, knowledge. So this would be like gnosis, right? Which actually I did a very interesting video on this topic too, because the G in the, wow, look at this one. It's got an all-seeing eye in it. Look at all this demonic symbolism right here, all this stuff, okay? The knowledge of the tree of good and evil, okay? That's a seeking after this knowledge to make oneself wise, to make a name for oneself, to become like a god on the earth, all this stuff. Knowledge like yada. So okay, I think so. I'm going to check what you're saying. Not wisdom, because wisdom in scripture is akin to obedience and the scriptures and the Ruach of Yahuah, but it's more like this secret knowledge. Let me just see if I can find this one really quick. I might have let's see. I wanted to answer your question you put about yada. Dang, I wonder if you can tell me the Strong's Concordance for that word. So that we know that there's chakma, which would be more like wisdom, right? But knowledge is a different word. And I don't know if it's spelled this way or if it has a hey in it. And plus, when it's Yiddish, they give you different stuff. Okay, here we go. Strong's 3034 yada yod dalet hey. So no, this is like praise. Is that the word that you meant? Yahakab Natsarim and Shalom, welcome and thank you for your question. Let me know a little bit more and I'll go deeper on that with you. Oh, H3045. Okay, thank you. H3045. This is going to raise an interesting question too, because now you see how this one is a Yod Dalet Ayin and the other one was a Hey. But the thing is, they're going to almost sound the same when you pronounce this word. It's still going to be Yada. And this one is to know. So yes. You're exactly right. So that type of knowledge. But there's also, so there's some of it that's not necessarily right. If we go look at this, it's going to come back to as like discernment and understanding. And some of that also is goes with skill. So like Barashit 3.5, I'll go check that out. So also like for Chakma, Remember we just had Hakma on the screen like just a little bit ago. Let me see if I can go back and get it. This is really cool, so thank you for participating. I appreciate it. Ah, dang it, it's not there. So let's see. Wisdom, Hebrew, blue letter. This is a way that I personally like to try to bring up a lot of the words that I'm studying. So in this word Hakma, it also is a skill like as in a warrior. See, skill in war. So wisdom is obedience to the scripture, but it's also used sometimes to describe a warrior who's skilled. Just like if you remember, Daud says something like, let's see, David says God made his hands to be skilled in battle. I don't know if that's going to get me there, but yeah, so Psalm 18:34, he teaches my hands to war, so that the bow of steel is broken by mine arms. So, you know, if we really dig in deep on scriptures, we're going to see that there's that Yashar'Al was very mighty in war. So I think that's Genesis, right? Genesis 3:5 that you're giving me. Barshit 3:5. Oh, what was that? I did not click on that. I'm not using a mouse, so it's a touchpad and it's a little sensitive. Okay, let's see. What did you want to bring up about that? I want to try to see if I can get where you're going with it before. I feel like you're just wanting to tell me that it appears there. Like those who crafted the tabernacle. Yeah, like those who, yeah, okay, yep. And you have craftsmen who work with materials like gold and linens, and there's embroidery works, and then there's metal workers. So yeah, and you know, because think about it, every skill, every like people are gifted at singing or they're gifted at drawing, and they can use those gifts to esteem Yahuwah, or they could use those gifts to esteem themselves. See what I mean? Okay, you said 3:5. Ah, the serpent in the garden. Yes, yes, yes. Yep. Okay. For Alahim Yada. Alahim dot Yada. Yeah. I should be open. Right? That's the type of, right? This is the thing that that he's tempting them with gnosis, knowledge. This is what secret societies do. And people go up the ranks. Okay? When they're at the bottom, they don't really know what's going on. And as they work their way up, by the time they learn the truth about what they're in, they're bought into it, and they're locked into it because of the rituals and the oaths that they do. So the serpent, let me see, right here, and we're going to go first full, I don't want to say full, that's the name of a four mighty one. If you did not know that, it is, I'll show you. So the serpent was Nakash. No. Okay. Actually, so this is a serpent. Okay. Dang, and my head's going so much. I can't wait to spend more time doing this. Did you guys know that in Isaiah, the angel that touches the coal to his lips that he takes from the tongues is a fiery serpent? I was live earlier playing around with this, and I talked about that in that video. If you did not see it, go check it out. Okay, so he was more subtle. I thought it was, isn't that word nasha in here? I guess not. I thought that it described the serpent as being subtle, or hang on. Let me just go back. Oh, I don't want that pop up there. Okay. This word, nasha, 53:77. Is that not in this verse? I guess not. Like those who crafted the tabernacle, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so if you can let me know where Nasha is used to describe the serpent, I will appreciate that help. Let me try to keep going because I got off topic. Okay, so artificial intelligence. Please watch the video because it's not new. It's not anything new under the sun. It's demonic knowledge. It's gnosis. It's what the serpent tempted Yahuah with in the garden. Okay? Artificial, not natural. Like the fallen angels sleeping with females who became sirens, by the way. There's so much here. Their offspring are artificial. They're not natural. And they have this intelligence, right? This knowledge, this power. Yeah, go check it out. Let me see. Let me see what I can do here. I'll just show you guys right now. Because, yeah, that was really cool. We were talking about... maybe I'll just go show you. Maybe I should just do that. So, under the lives... there's one that I did earlier that's called Testing 1, 2, 3, and it's in here if you want to go check it out. And Baruk Yahuah. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So let's just go look at it really fast. Let me just show you. So it's in Isaiah. Let's see. I am a man of unclean lips. So we'll go to Isaiah 6. Okay. And okay, and it stood seraphim which had 6 wings. Okay, so we know that these guys are flying, right? And right here in 6:6, so it says, then flew one of the seraphim unto me, having a live coal in his hand, okay, which he had taken with tongs from off the altar. Okay, Baruk Yahuah, you guys know this one. So the seraphim, H8314, check it out. Look at this, you guys. Fiery serpent. Fiery serpent. Okay, let's see. Flying fiery serpent. What's a flying fiery serpent, you guys? Who can get it? Who can tell me what it is? Masha isn't the Hebrew for the craftiness of the serpent. Oh. Yeah, I thought it was, I was just thinking that it used that word Nasha because it's to beguile and to deceive, but no, it's probably not. See this? Dragon. You guys see it? Dragon, fiery serpent that flies, that has wings. Isn't that crazy? I think it's totally amazing. And then from there, he actually goes on to say in verse 7, and he laid the coal upon his mouth and said, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin, chata, don't say sin. Did you guys know that that sin is a deity? It's a moon god. Did you guys know this? Right here. And let me go back. I'm sorry, I got excited. Click too fast. See right here how it has a torch and a crescent moon on the head? This is like the Statue of Liberty, which I'm sure you guys have learned is the image of Lucifer. So sun god and moon goddess and all this stuff, this is like interchangeable. So yeah, S-I-N. And how much times does that word appear in our babbles, right? We can probably go and look. So the word, and who can forgive transgression but Yah? Who can forgive transgression? So this is a chat Tat, Aleph. Let me see. I have to slow down with this one. It's a little bit tricky. Chat, the first one. So that's like CH. And then we have big A because it's Aleph. And then that little squiggly one, I think, is a Tat. Where's Tat? Yep, right here. See it? Tat. Sorry if it's small. And then, what is this last letter right here? What is that last letter, you guys? Anybody tell me? Is it Tau? Is it Tau? I think it is. So that's like Chatath. As it appears as SIN 182 times, actually appears 296 times in the scripture. Tadaraba. Tadaraba. Baruk Yahuah. I appreciate you. Yeah, so that is pretty interesting. All right, so that was that the seraphim that they're describing. They're always like, oh yeah, the angel took the coal from the altar, but it's actually a fiery serpent, you guys. I think that was in 6:6, right? And I think I actually have that one too in the letters. We'll get to it maybe, Abba willing. I wanted to tell you guys a story about this. So I was in Wyoming. I made a video about this too. Let me just tell you, and you can go there if you want. Because if you watch the video, you'll get more understanding. Obviously, can't repeat everything from a video, and like, nor do we want to really just do that. But so in the videos, up near, pretty much near the top, okay, I did this video called More Lost Sheep, okay? And so, so there's the people, they're called the Shoshone, right? Shoshone Rose. And they do in their embroideries and their beadworks and a lot of this stuff, they make the rose in their garments. And I believe that they are some of the remnant of the lost sheep of Yashar'Al, possibly of the tribe of Gad. And so what happened was Yahuwah was showing me, like, for example, if I say flesh of my flesh, right? So we can go to Genesis 2:23. I'm sorry if I go fast. But so Genesis 2:23. So right here we see Adam. These are the exact same letters for the word that they say Edom, by the way. I don't believe it's ever even a word called Edom. It's the letters are Adam. So I think Edomites are unregenerate man. But let me catch up on your comments here in just 1 second. You guys are so awesome. Let me just show you something. So right here he's saying bone of my bones. Okay. So the bone is this word atzam. Ain Tarimam, so atzam. And then down here he says ma'atzami, okay, when he makes it my. So you see when you put the yod at the end, it makes it like possessive. Like if I say, hey, ak, it means, hey, brother, right? But if I said my, or if I said aki, hey, aki, now I'm saying, hey, my brother, because like it's more like this. So you see that he's saying bone of my bones. He's saying atzam ma'atzami, right? And then when it's the flesh, my flesh, he's saying bashar ma'bashari, okay? So when I was looking at the thing for the Shoshone, I learned that Shushan means lily, or so they Yiddish say it means lily. But a rose and a lily is still like a flower, right? So let's see, rose and lily, right? I think you guys understand where I'm going. This is the places where Yahuwah takes me. He takes me in places like this in my understanding, and it's really crazy. So you see the flowers together, right? So if you say Shushani, it's like saying my flower. So it's like Yahuwah is saying my people, my flower, my prize, my possession, my I think it's something. Anyways, I made the video about it. You could go watch it if you're interested. It's right here. It's just called More Lost Sheep. It's really like More Lost Sheep ? What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Okay, and there's the video you see on AI. And I got a lot of videos on Trump. There's the video on Allah being in the scriptures, and it's not like Allah like I'm going to repeat myself. Let me not do that. Let me go read your comments. And I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Oh, you mentioned Statue of Liberty. I saw a video recently about what the hand is holding symbol, the torch, bottom, the torch. I was like, whoa, yeah, it's a deep one. And the chain around the ankle and how it's broken and how it's really actually a man. Yeah, it's deep stuff. I don't want to talk foul, so I won't say it, but you probably know already. Oh, I mentioned it. I saw a video recently about the hand is holding symbol torch, bottom of the torch. Oh, bottom of the torch. I don't know. Are you talking about shaft or something? Okay. I don't want to talk foul either, but I think that's what you're getting at. Okay, the original face of the statue looked just like Elvis. For real, dude, for real. And Trump has a face that looks like Elvis too, and he's now Trump. Man, Aki, dude. I'm sorry. Ya Akab not Sarim. Yes. Yes. And my sister, yes, you guys are on it. Fire. Yes, because the yod is about stretched hand, and when it has obtained it possesses. Yes, because the yod is about stretched hand. The manura had flowers on it. Yeah, right? Because there's, yes, petals, pedestals. There's also like these pomegranates. There's a lot of deep stuff for us to get into, guys. There's so much. But look, Shashuni, they're lost sheep of Yashar'Al. I'm serious. They have this chief Washaki over them, and they were warring with the neighbor tribe, and he said, let's me and you fight mano y mano, which is a champion versus a champion, instead of letting all of our people fight and die and spill much blood. And even though I know David and Goliath was the one who had the idea to send one man to fight him. But still, as a lost sheep of Yashar'Al, you would remember the story. You would remember the telling of the story. And so I think, and it was just like, someone told me about it. And when I heard them, I said, wow, that's just like David and Goliath. And Abba just started showing me the pieces a little bit at a time, and then you start putting them all together, and the next thing you know, you're like, wow, Shoshone rose. Because look, Shoshone, if, let me see, I've never tried to do this before. Let me try to open up a notepad. I'm kind of just learning this, this layout, like to play around with these features. And I wish I could just draw with this. That would be awesome. So can you change font size? Oh yeah, okay, so I can make some stuff like kind of big. Okay, so show, ni. Okay, now look, there's no O, but there is a ua, right? And then there's no E, but there's a Y. See that? So it ends up being it. Like, guys. Anyway, I get excited. Yeah, a lot of people are blinded by him. Can I tell you something else? And I did a video about this already. Like if you did go to my channel and you go to the playlist on Trump, and there's the Amaru Khan. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff to say, you guys. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But this one is very interesting. Amaru Khan, or mouthpiece of a demon, mouthpiece, like unclean lips. Like, oh, that one's really short. It's only 2 minutes long. You should check it out. But now I forgot what I was going to say to you about Trump. Oh, the strong delusion. Okay, yes, now I remember. So if we do etymology of inauguration, okay, how is the size on that? Is that okay? That's better, right? Okay. Ceremonial investiture with office, act of solemnly or formally introducing or placing in motion anything of importance or dignity. Installation, consecration, directly from the Latin, okay, which Latin is the Romance language, which is Roman, right? It's Rome. It's Roman tongue. It's a demonic tongue, of course, but all the languages that are not Abrith are demonic and unclean. Let me see. I wonder if I have it. Here it is. Let's just watch it. We could just watch this together. There's no sound. What's up, family? This is Watchman, Yahu, Qadashayam of Yasharal. As we all feel the imminence, right? Something impending doom, something coming soon, all this. I was talking with a brother. What's up, Aki? Ahaba. And talking about the inauguration that's coming for Donald Trump, president. And I told him I felt like there was something that was going to occur after the inauguration. And I really needed to check the etymology of that word. Inaugurate, verb, induct into office, formal ceremony, 16th century, back formation for inauguration, and also from Latin, ignoratus. Past participle, inaugare, etymological sense is make a formal beginning. Like it's okay, make a formal beginning. Remember that. It's going to kick off like it's going to begin. Or induction into office, suitable ceremony, which in ancient Rome included especially the taking of auguries. Augury. What's that? Augury. Late 14th century, a little older. Noun. Divination. From the flight of birds, from Old French augur, augury, divination, soothsaying, sorcery, enchantment. Bro. Or directly from Latin. Okay. Now, Palal, that you got that. So, the beginning of a spell, the beginning of a strong delusion. Yes. That's why you keep telling people and showing people and they can't see it. They can't, right? And look what happens. What happens when they sign their name to the ballot? They cast their ballot. They enter into an agreement with that, well, principality. Anyways, how was the sound on that too, guys? Let me know, because that's the first time I played a video like that. See how it works out. So this is a directional. These are some directions. Nagab would be the Abrith wave to say south. Nun Gamal Bat. Let me verify that really quick. Nun and Gamal. Nun. Okay, yep, I see that. And then Gamal. Okay, yeah. See, they look kind of, those ones tricky a little bit too. See, now look at this. If we were using this little sperm seed right here, and then this big blocky L, Gamal, we wouldn't get mixed up. But in the modern, it's very much confusion. A lot of these little guys look the same, and the chat and the hey, and they look the same. Yes, yes, sis. Spell casting, exactly right. So that's the word for south. And this is the word for north. Zadi, pe, ua, nun. Zapun. Zapun. See it? North. Which reminds me, too, if you have not seen the playlist, the playlist, Armies from the North. Yes. Please, please, please check it out. It is one of the most exciting things that Yahuwah has shown me in a while. And of course, the unclean lips has a lot on a breath and stuff like that too. Names of devils, things like that. And of course, there's Yubalim, Revelation, and Hanuk. Hanuk is on here somewhere too. Where's Hanuk? The Book of Enoch. Where is it? I'm trying to take my time and not feel like I have to rush, and then this is testing me a lot right now. Where is it, you guys? Oh, there it is. Hanuk right here. And this is a really great playlist too. I really had a great time doing this when we did 9 different videos breaking down the Book of Enoch on that one. But yeah, Armies from the North, which is this one right here. It also includes the 10 plagues, like from Exodus. I believe that that was a shadow of what's coming when the bottomless pit is opened. And yeah. So we have the Gog and Magog, the king of Babylon. Yep. And it all starts with the phrase army from the north, and what it means, and then what are the different holding places and the bottomless pit, because there's different holding places for different types of beings, like for Adam, for fallen angels, and there's a different holding place for the righteous and the wicked too, even before the valley of judgment. So please check it out. Yeah, me too, sis. The pure language is the truth, and that's why it's like there are probably tons of other words in English that are curses that we don't even know about. What? Yeah, please do watch more, like, and try not to get discouraged, because I know it's a lot. Like, let me just show you guys one really quick. Because we say good all the time, right? We say good morning. Mourning is what you do when at a funeral when someone dies, right? Good is actually just another way of saying, this is Old Saxon God. It's actually another name for a foreign mighty one. That's all it is. So let's go slow. It's Old English God, but with a longer O sound. Okay? And which is from the Proto-Germanic Gada, source also of Old Frisian God, Old Saxon God. So it's just another name for God, is all that it is. So actually, this kind of tripped me out too when Yahuwah showed me this. When you say oops, which we all did for the longest time, right? This is, you have God Ray all, basically, right? And weeping, right? Which is also weeping for Tammuz. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And this is also eating meat sacrificed to idols and sleeping with the enemy. Yahuah is a jealous. Yeah, I also don't say J-O-Y, sis. I say Gil in the Abrith tongue for J-O-Y. All of these things are basically partaking in spiritual fornication. And that's one of the biggest things that Abba is, yeah, it's so much words. It's so much words. I just avoided one because that's another one, is M-A-N-Y is also one. But we'll probably get to some more if I'm on here long enough. So this one is for west, the direction of west. It's Yam, Yod and Mam, Yam. Okay. And what is this one? East, Kadma, Kaf, Dalit, Mam, He, Kadma. Shamar. So this is what we're doing when we're guarding the commandments. This is a very strong word. I highlighted a bunch of it. It's 468 times used in Scripture: to keep, to guard, to observe, to give heed. Spell it. Okay, so it's Shin, Mam, Rash. So capital SH for Shin, capital M for Mam, and capital R for Rash. So Shamar is how we would have to pronounce it. The transliteration of the word into English would be spelled this way. Oh, the J-O-Y one is like this. And I probably have that slide too. Let me see if I can go Joy Hebrew blue letter. It's right here. Gamal Yod Lamed. So that's, like I said, capital G, capital Y, capital L. Gil. And so that's why when I do a Palal, I ask Yahuah for Shalom, Gil, and Hasad, which is like saying peace, joy, and mercy. I don't like to say any of those words. You're welcome. I think all those words are unclean, so I try not to say them. Whoopsie. All right, let's see what's next. Bashar. Woo, this is one of my favorite things lately because of Bashar. Have you guys ever heard people say, oh, it's not the gospel, it's the Basura, because gospel is God's spell? Well, yes, Basura, but so like if you look in, so if we look in the Sefer, they're going to write it like this, I think, Basura, like this, right? But it's actually Bashar, which I'm going to show you again. Okay, Bashar, Bat Shin Rash, Bashar, to bear news, bring tidings, publish, preach. This is also saying it's to announce the God news of salvation. So this is the word for in place of gospel. Yes, Palal. Yes, that's right, Palal. Okay, so this is the word that we should use instead of, right? Let me see. This is God's spell, right? Gospel. Okay, you guys know that probably already. And then they say Basurah. But if you say Yashar'Al, or like this, it's kind of like saying Yahuah, right? Which is the great I am adds life or breath, right? So up here, you have Bashura. This will be like saying great news that adds life, right? You see it? Tell me you can see it. Bashar'U'ah. Bashar'U'ah, right? But most importantly, I would say that we should just call it the Bashar, because that's what we have been given. We have it 24 times, Bashar. Yep. So we preach the Bashurah to every living creature. We never know who is going to receive it and who is not, because that is up to the Ruach of Yahuah. So this is the word that I say instead of this word, M-E-R-C-Y. I don't even remember anymore why I stopped saying it. It's something to do with a foreign mighty one, but I don't remember. But I like to learn the clean lip and use it when I can. So this is chasad. It's chat, samach, dalet. Chasad. Okay? I don't want to just teach unclean words without giving a clean word to use instead. And I don't want to just tell you what the words are. I want to show you how to figure it out for yourself. This is how you have to learn how to figure these out for yourself. That's why I'm putting the caps and the lowercase so you can understand. This one is this letter. Chat makes that sound. Cha, right? Samak, sa, like S, and d, dalet, dot, chasad. Okay? Baruk Yahuah. I mean, I could probably try to find real quick. Let me see. There might not be one actually. They'll say it's the deity of mercy and it's called this and that. But that's why you also have to search the etymologies of words. Huh. Interesting. From Middle English, from Anglo-French mercy, from Middle Latin price paid, wages. Huh. God's forgiveness of his creature's offense. So I'm just flying by the seat of my pants right now, guys. I don't know exactly what I'm going to come across here. See, that's another thing. See how they describe it as the mercy seat on the ark? I don't know about that. It messes me up a little bit. The throne of Yahuwah. Okay. I don't really see anything on that one. Let's just keep it moving for right now. Trust me, I have like 250 slides of unclean words, so we don't need to search for new ones. Okay, and we talked about this word earlier, chakma. Not only is it wisdom, which is also guarding the commandments, the Ruach of Yahuwah, but also a skill in war like King Dawood. We talked about that earlier. So this is the Shabuah. It's very close to the Shabbat, but it is to do with the oath. So if you guys don't know, and if you don't have, you can email me and I will send you a copy of the calendar. Okay? It's free, of course. So, but, okay, so let me just show you this. So every year needs to start with 6 days of work and a 7th day of rest. If it does not start with 6 days of work and a 7th day of rest, it breaks scripture. Because the scripture says there's 52 weeks in a year, 364 days, like perfectly, perpetually in all your generations. And I have a whole playlist on the calendar, so let's not spend too much more time on that right here. But the first Shabbat is on the 7th. And then you go 8th day, 9th day, 10th day, which, by the way, you get the lamb on the 10th day of Abib. We're in Abib right here, first month of the year, which is coming up very soon, by the way. It's literally going to be, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in like 4 days. We'll be at the end of the, or we'll be at the beginning of a new year. So when you get to the 14th, that's also the Shabbat day. The Shabbat is from sun up to sun down. But in the evening, as soon as you start transitioning, and then in haste, we prepare the Pesach, right? Our staff in our hand, our belt gird around our loins, our sandals on our feet, and we eat in haste. And whatever we don't eat, we burn up. And then we go inside and we close the doors and the windows. You know, we have the blood of Yahusha covering our house. You should have the blood of Yahusha covering you and your house all the year long. And by the way, the feast should be instituted by the man of the house. He should be the priest of his home. He should be leading his wife and children, if he has them, in all the ways, the ancient path of Yahuwah. And so then after that we go into unleavened bread. And let me just show you guys, because I started working on a new calendar where I've actually put the symbols. And it might be too big. Let me just make it a little bit smaller and maybe move this over here. So I wasn't planning on doing this, but I want to do more things like this, just hanging out. So I made a symbol for blowing the shupar, for a Qadash assembly, for no Yashar'Al work, for an offering made by fire, and for the new moon. So on the first day of unleavened bread, it's Qadash assembly and no Yashar'Al work. So you don't just invite any old buddy over. This is supposed to be for Yashar'Al only. You have an offering made by fire every single day of the feast. So don't let people tell you that you can't cook or have a fire on the Shabbat. It's not true. Okay? I have a video. You can go, let me see. No, it ain't gonna get me there. Hang on. Bear with me, guys. I was amazed when I made this video because they wrote Kindle in the English. That's not what I want. They wrote Kindle in the English for 6 different Abrith words. They just made them all Kindle. And that let me know right away that there was something going on with that. And then Yahuwah showed me, this is Kindle of Fire right here. You should watch this video if you have not already. And I'm sorry that it looks like this. It's hard for you to see, I know, and I do apologize. But it's about 7.5 minutes long. And for like 6 different Abrith words, they just wrote Kindle in the English. And they play games. The lying scribes, the Strong's Concordance is not infallible. Okay? So if you go back to the calendar, it proves to you. If a person says that they believe that, let's say they go, oh, I believe that the Shabbat is on Saturday. Well, you need to have an offering made by fire. Oh, I believe that the Shabbat is on Tuesday. Well, you need to have an offering made by fire. It commands you to have an offering made by fire every single day of the whole feast. Okay, that wasn't even my original point, but that's how my brain works sometimes. So then you count 50. You start from right here, and you're counting 7 weeks of 7 plus 1. That's how we get to Shabuah, what they call Pentecost. And I also put a little rainbow on here, because it is the annual renewal of our wedding vow, which is it goes back to the promise that Yahuwah made at the time of the flood. Okay? So this is another video that I would encourage you to seek out. The Feast of the Oath, Shabuah. I would recommend that you watch this. There's also Shabuah, remember the, and this is an unclean word I don't use anymore, but some of these videos are old, and I didn't know everything back then that I know now. We're learning. We should be learning together. That's how we're supposed to do this whole process. Yes. Okay, so here's the calendar. If you wanted a copy, you just email me and I will send you a free copy. This is Shabuah. This means oath. It has the same root as Shabbat or Shabbath, which is also interesting because every week we have a remembrance of Yahuwah as the creator. The seventh day we rest. That's to remember his resting during creation week. And every year we have a remembrance of the oath that he made to his people, that he would not destroy the earth by water again. And if you watch that video, you're going to actually see that in the book of Acts, in the upper room, when they had the tongues, when they were renewing their wedding vow. It happened at the time of Shabuah. If you go back to Mount Sinai and Masha sprinkled the blood on the people, that was also a wedding ceremony. They were renewing their vows. They said, Yahuwah will be our husband and we will be his bride. Basically, everything he commands us to do, that we will do. We will guard his instructions and his commandments. That's what it is. Understanding the wedding, which even if you look at on my channel, I did a video recently on a certificate of divorcement. Okay, the certificate of divorcement video is not just a personal video about my marriage. It is much deeper. It has everything to do with our relationship to our husband, Yahuwah, and how we are to be submissive and honoring to him and to his will. So this is a longer video, but I recommend that you watch it if you want to get understanding about the differences between being put away, which is the hardness of your heart. Masha gave us a certificate of divorcement because you were putting your wife away. You were just casting her out, and then she had no way to provide for herself. She wouldn't even be able to remarry because somebody would say, oh yeah, that's so-and-so's wife, and things like that. Okay, that's why the certificate of divorcement came into play at all. And then they said, oh, Yahuwah hates divorce. It's not that Yahuwah hates divorce. Yahuwah hates the putting away of your wife for an unjust cause. That's the whole point. The certificate of divorcement allows her to remarry, and Yahuwah himself gave a certificate of divorcement to Ephraim. I don't know how to spell. Let me see if this isn't going to say it right here. And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Yashar'Al committed adultery, I had put her away and gave her a bill of divorce. Bill of divorcement is a certificate of divorcement. So, in Christianity, they teach it to you like, oh, you should never happen and this and that, but they don't ever tell you that Yahuwah did it himself. Of course, they don't even know who Yahuwah is, but you know what I mean. All right, Baruk Yahuah. What's this word? Oh, this is the word that we saw for fiery serpent. Remember we looked at it earlier, the fiery serpent. Shin, Rash, Pe, Sharap. I didn't transliterate that one. This is the tribe that Yahuwah told me that I come from, which they call Simeon, which is Shema. You know how they have that Shema, Yashar'Al, Yahuwah, your Alawah is Achad. So this is, they say it means heard, but it means listen. And so this Shamaun, I wonder if this could mean listened to, or what does the un at the end of Shama, what does that make it? I'm still trying to learn that. it's either heard one or listened to, one of those. I don't feel like I'm listened to, so I don't know. A lot of people are divorced and remarry while their spouse is still alive. Yes, and I did that myself before, like knowing what that's all about. But so there's some confusion right there too, though. So the reason why, well, I probably shouldn't get into that right now. But basically, Yahuwah laid down his own life so he could cancel out the certificate of divorcement so that his bride could be eligible to marry again and to marry him again. That's what the wedding feast of the Lamb is at the end of the book, is that Yahuwah is going to marry his lost sheep again, making them one again with all of Yashar'Al again. He's restoring it. That's the hope. That's the point. Okay, here's the word that they call goy, but it's really gui because it's gamal ua yod gui. Okay, and it also does refer to Yashar'Al. It doesn't just refer to white people, they are liars. It doesn't just refer to non-Jewish people, they're also liars, okay? This is nations or peoples or groups of peoples. Descendants of Abraham are described as Goy in the scriptures, and Yashar'Al is also described as Goy in the scriptures. Baruk Yahuah. This is the word for tree, atz, ayin zadi, okay, when it was talking about everything that Yahuwah made for us to eat, the plants and the trees, fruit-bearing seeds and all that stuff. Okay, that's why I was studying that, because I just also did a video recently on fungus and algae. Fungus and algae are not clean for us. They're not to be food for us. A lot of people don't know that. Okay. To strike or strike off, nachap, nun, kaf, pei. Okay. Shachath, to destroy, to corrupt, to ruin. Here's one. This is very interesting. So this is the one that they call archangel, which is all is my light, or light of Elohim. Auri, all. That's how you would say that one. And actually, if you look that up, let me see. H222 Bible verse. It's used a lot in no, which one am I thinking of? Oh, you know why? Because it's Enoch. See, they're not gonna, that's messed up. So this is actually the Qadash name that's used in the book of Enoch like a ton of times. And Hanuk refers to Ahuriel as Yahuwah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Divorce has been a very important topic in my life lately because I'm separated. So, but yeah, the fungus and the algae, if you go and check out that video, you may find that to be of some value to you, because like, I don't even think that the yeast that they put in modern day bread, it's fungus. The leaven comes from fungus, which is not clean. And I don't know what to do about it, because I don't have access to sourdough anymore, and I would have to get myself a starter and get all that going and do all that. But I believe that we should be eating sourdough bread, and then when we get to unleavened bread, we have to get rid of our sourdough starter, and we'll be starting over from scratch, and you'll make an all new starter. And you're basically just using flour and water, and the leaven comes from that in a process that takes about 14 days for all the unwell bacteria to be purged out or discarded. And after it goes through a 2-week process, then it will be all the Qadash bacteria in there, and it will produce leaven naturally. Hallelujah. Yahuah. This is the prophet they call Ezra. His name is actually Ayin Zadi Rashhe Atzara. This should actually be, I mean, you could write it with the Z, but it's going to be more like, let me just double check. That is a Z, isn't it? See, I'm learning stuff all the time too, guys. Yeah, okay, so this little, it's very hard to see that, and that's getting blurry, but that's a Zadi, which is a Z. So, I'm sorry, that's a Zan. The Zadi that I'm getting it mixed up with is it makes a TS sound, but it looks like this. See, and that's not what that guy looks like at all. So, A-Z-R-A-H, Azara. Yeah, you can't find clean food for nothing. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle right now. So I also don't like to say this word in the English justice, just because I feel like it's unclean, and it has to do with liberty and justice and all that kind of stuff. I mean, our land is one of the craziest ones that there is in all of redemptive history, but I'm starting to get a big old headache, and I got a job interview in the dawning. But you can say tzadak instead, because this is a tzadi, and a dalet, and a kaf. Tzadak. And that would be well to say, actually. So instead of HOPE, which I think also could be associated with the Four Mighty One, I've been trying to learn this one, and I always forget it. Makua. Mam, kaf, ua, hey, makua. Abari, right? Which is more like the people, right? Like Abraham. Abarith is the language. Please don't say that you're Hebrew, and I'll show you why. Nobody listens to me. Hebrew etymology. Some people get all proud and they're like, we're Hebrews. I'm like, bro, don't say that. So you can even see right here that it come out around the 12th century. Okay? And also, by the way, it's Latin. It comes from Latin. You think Latin kings get to name our people? No. And then they say that it comes from Eber, right? Eber, Bible. Let me see. Genealogy will work. So he is a great grandson of Noah's son Shem. But see, of the father of Peleg. Let me see. Let's put Abraham in here instead. Why doesn't it show me the thing like the other one did? That was weird. I know you can't see this one very well. Well, for one thing too, and I don't even know why I'm struggling with that. It doesn't even matter, because let me go back to this. Abari H5680, right? H5680 Bible verse. 34 times. That might take me a while to find it. But it says that Abraham, well, Abram, the Abrim, and see they wrote Hebrew right there. But look at it. How do you get Hebrew out of that? A-B-R-Y, and you got, where's the H and the E coming from? Let me see. So you're asking me. So it would be like, so the language is Abrith, and the people are Abrims. Yeah, see, Hebrew describes a language and a people like in one word, which is actually a Latin word from the 12th century, so don't use it at all. But you could say that you're Abrim and that you speak Abrith, right? Yeah. It's a lot to learn, sis. Okay, so this is when they say that they're Canaanites, I guess, right? Canaan. But this is a Kaf Nun, Ain Nun. So it's actually Canaan. Canaan. Pretty interesting, huh? Karathim. I just got some of these words, and I don't. They're no particular order, no particular rhyme or reason. I'm just showing you some Abrith, okay? So you see the K, and so we have right here the K, Kaf. See the little K symbol? K-R-T-H-Y. The M is there. This one doesn't have it as the people, but they're executioners, a group of 4 mercenary soldiers serving as bodyguards to King Dawood. So there, it is written as with a mom at the end. It almost always does this when it's a plurality of peoples. The Palestine, the Qadash, the I can't even think. They almost always put the Yod Mom at the end when it's a plurality of peoples. Let me see, what's this one? Akarun, torn up by the roots. Northern of the 5 principal cities of the Palestine. By the way, now's probably a very important time for you guys to go watch this video. Yahuah is against you. And you'll see about the curses on the Ishmaelites and the Palestine and how there will be no inhabitants there. It's going to be utterly laid waste. And of course, we've already been seeing a genocide going on for 2.5 years or something crazy like that. Ashdod is another one of the cities in Palestine that's going to be destroyed. Ashkelon is another one. Ashkelon. Atza. This is how you actually say Gaza in the Bible. There's no G at all. So you have a Atzadi, and a He. Atza is how you say it. It's not Gaza. Like, I don't know. Let's see if I can find anything. Gaza named in the Bible. Genesis 10:19. Genesis 10. We'll go to 19. It's right here. Gerar, Gaza. See right here, it's the same one. 5804. That's what this is, 5804. Let's see if you got another place where it's named. Bible verses. Joshua 15 is another one. Let's see what we have there. Joshua 15. And you said 20? 15:20 here. Inheritance. That doesn't seem right to me. What am I missing? Joshua 15:20. Is that not 20? It is 20. Weird. I don't know why it's saying that. But it also said 47. Let's just go see what that one says. There's Gaza right there. See, it's 5804, same thing. There's no G, there's no Gaza. Why do they do that? This is probably an unclean word, and I don't know, and they just got everybody saying it all the time and whatever. They're so weird. Anyways, this is the name of the place. And there's all kinds of prophecy about it. Palestine. Descendants of Mizraim, which is Egypt. See that? So they're descendants of, some of them are descendants of Ham, which is also not of the promised line. Japheth and Ham are not of the promised line. Sham is, but only not all of Sham, certain parts of Sham. Now, can some of Ham get mixed in with Sham? Yes. Can some of Japheth get mixed in with Sham? Yes. Excuse me. Adoni, right? They write Lord. There's the name for Yahuah, Yod-He, Uah-He. There is no E, there's no V, there's no O. This whole thing is false. This is Yahuah, which would be like, it would be like Yahuah. I already wrote the great I am. Just like Yahuwah said, Masha said, who shall I say sent me? He said, Ah, ha, ya, achar, aha, ya. You see the ya, and then ya, and you have Yahuwah, and you have Yahusha. Okay? Ya. Because guess what? Yah is literally in the scriptures to describe Yahuwah. It's a real... I've seen some people being like, oh, you can't say the word Yah. Yeah, you can. It's actually written in the ancient letters, so stop telling people that they can't say stuff that's clearly in the scriptures. That drives me nuts. There's that Sadak again. Okay, this is the one they call this one Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel. Well, the name is actually, you can see Yah in his name right here. We just talked about Baruk Atah Yahuah. I just said, look, Yah. Yah, right? Well, so right here, Yah, Yod He. And then you go Zadi Kaf, Yah, Tzak, and then all of Elohim, right? So this is crazy because you have Yah strengthen, or Yah gives strength, Elohim. See all that? I mean, this guy's name is so, it magnifies the Father over and over. It's amazing. The names of the prophets are filled with power. They're so incredible. No, there is no W and there is no V, sis. Nope. These are actually both names of four mighty ones too. Do not use these names. Yep. It's crazy, right? So there is no... Let me come on here again. So there is no E, I, O, W, V, Yeah, it does. It comes from lying scribes aka Yiddish. And yes, what you said. So they created a foreign mighty one for this and for this. And all they do is just slightly change the pronunciations. I don't know if you saw in the beginning, were you here in the beginning of my video? I think it was Judges 12:6. Let me see if I can my brain work to remember stuff. Let's see. No, what? Oh, that's Jude. Judges 12:6. Yep, look at that. I remembered it. That's what you was asking. Yeah. I think I understand what you're asking, and I think I'm answering you. Unless I'm misunderstanding it. It is from them, yes. So right here, they said to him, say Shabulath. And he said Sabulath. Because he couldn't say the shin, he said the samak instead. And they said he could not pronounce it. He couldn't frame the pronunciation correctly. So they took him and they slew him. Yes. Exactly. So they took him and they slew him. And so they were using it as a test to see if he was really of them or if he was an imposter. They are imposters. They say that they are Yashar'Al, but they do lie. They say that they're Yashar'Al and they do lie. And they change the lip. And they put curses and everything in our scriptures. Yes, Yashar'Al. Do you know what Yashar'Al is? So, Yashar means upright. And then Al means Alahim. So, Yashar'Al is upright of Alahim. What are the correct letters for Yashar'Al? Oh, I think I have that one coming up soon. But let me see if I can go find it for you real quick instead. The name Genesis 32:28. Is this what you're asking me for, by the way? Genesis 32. Hopefully I'm showing you what you wanted me to show you. Okay, here it is. So, and it's better if we wait until I get to the slide because that's already transliterated, but I want to just show you right now because you're asking me. So you have Yod, Shin, Rash, Aleph, Lamed. So it's going to look like Yashar and then Al. Yashar'Al. Which is exactly what you wrote. So you wrote it correctly. Great job. Well, how do I get this back? Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. Ugh. So here's what they call Gog, but it's really Goog. Gamal, Ua, Gamal. A mountain. Please watch that video too that I did. This is who is Gog and Magog? Goog, chief prince, and there's two parts to it. And they're both close to like an hour long. I mean, like they are saying that they believe in the Father but not the Son. I know, right? They deny the HaMashiach. And if you deny HaMashiach, cannot have the Father without the Son. You cannot have the Son without the Father, because they're one. Okay, so here's Mashak to draw out Mam Shin Kaf. Oh, I forgot I have laundry to switch over to. I need to go. The ball. Taub. Bat. Lamin. Tabal. Well, I am going to be trying to do these types of videos a lot more. And I might just call this Alaph Bat Part 1. I don't know. I haven't figured out what I'm trying to do yet. I want to try to do this on Wednesdays, though, for the Shabbat, Abba willing, and can try to get more people. Please try to share the videos and encourage other people to join us. Because although I have on my heart that Yashar'Al needs to tribe up, I've also witnessed firsthand, and I've been seeing testimonies of it in multiple places, that when the people are coming together, there's still a lot of strife and controversy and stuff like that. I don't think that the leaders are the true called leaders that are there, and I think that's why they're not, the truly anointed ones are not esteemed in a leadership role yet, and they're still seen as the bottom. That's what I've been seeing a lot of. I don't know what you see, but Baruk Atah and Ahaba, Shalum Shalum. Please pull off for me. I'm gonna be going for an interview for a new job tomorrow, and everything's kind of up in the air in my life. Yahuwah's been taking everything away from me. I feel like Job, and been having everything stripped away, and I know He's doing it for a purpose. And now I'm seeing a lot of things that trouble me. But may Yahuwah's will be done in all things. And I pull off for you also, that Yahuwah give you His Gil, His Shalom, and His Asad. Every Taub and precious gift comes down from the Shamayim, from Yahuwah, the Father of lights. So, Baruk Atah and Ahaba, and Shalum Shalum. Oh, email me if you have any questions. All right, or comment in the videos, and thank you for hanging out and commenting so much. Okay, Shalom.